New COVID-19 cases nationwide reached 2,000 anew, while the death toll reaches the 47,000 mark. The COVID-19 alert level system piloted in NCR will be implemented across the country starting tomorrow. And the Defense Department says China will no longer interfere with military operations in Ayungin Shoal. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Maricel Hadid. The Interior Department will implement a COVID-19 alert level system nationwide starting tomorrow, November 22. Interior Undersecretary Epimaco Densig said the country will implement the alert level system on Monday and will focus on granular lockdowns. This comes after President Duterte approved the implementation of the system across the country. Densig is also hopeful that Metro Manila would be downgraded to alert level 1 by December. He added that aside from NCR, Calabarzon is also qualified to shift to the lower alert level, but COVID-19 figures will still be assessed. New COVID-19 cases in the country have gone above the 2,000 mark again, the first time in nearly 2 weeks. This is according to the latest case bulletin of the Department of Health. DOH showed that there are 2,227 new cases, bringing the country's total to over 2.8 million. 21,000 of this number are considered active cases or are still continuing treatment. However, 175 more COVID-19 patients did not survive the disease. Total death toll is now at 47,000. More than 3,000 recovered from the infection, pushing total recoveries to 2.75 million. Positivity rate, meanwhile, is at 2.8%. This refers to the number of people detected with COVID-19 among all who got tested. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Maricel Halim. Here are the recent developments in Philippine politics. National Police Chief General Junardo Carlos is urging all candidates for the 2022 polls to submit themselves to a drug test. This comes after President Duterte alleged that the presidential aspirant is using cocaine but did not identify who he was referring to. The COMELEC earlier clarified that the negative drug test is not a requirement for candidacy. Thousands of Mindanaoans joined the so-called Unity Caravan today, which formally launched the tandem of former Senator Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. and Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. While the regional party Hugpong ng Pagbabago, which Duterte founded and concurrently chairs alongside Lakas CMP, is throwing its support behind the team-up. Several pro-Sara groups are backing the presidential bid of Senator Bongo. And presidential aspirant Senator Panfilo Lacson and his team were flying to Pag-asa Island on Saturday when they received a warning from the Chinese Navy. A video released by Partido Reforma showed Chinese authorities ordering Lacson's group to, quote, leave immediately in order to avoid misjudgment. The Chinese Navy's radioed message also said that Lacson and his team were entering Beijing's military zone and that their actions are, quote, unfriendly and dangerous. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana confirms that Philippine vessels will once again approach Ayungin Shoal to transport supplies for military personnel stationed there. Lorenzana said that supply boats will not be escorted by the Philippine Coast Guard or the Navy, as Chinese authorities vowed they will not be interfering the resupply mission. Lorenzana said he has been in talks with Chinese Ambassador Wang Shilian since the Chinese Coast Guard fired a water cannon against the Philippine supply boats. Recall that Chinese authorities previously defended their action, saying Manila's vessels were trespassing. Following this, the U.S. government warned China that should maritime tensions escalate, Washington will invoke its mutual defense treaty with the Philippines. The MRT3 management assures the public that it is still safe to use the trains following a stone throwing incident. Camille Samonte with a report.
A passenger of the MRT3 was hurt after being hit by a rock thrown at a train coach traveling to Magallanes Station on Sunday. The injured passenger was immediately given first aid and was brought to San Juan de Dios Hospital in Pasay City. Based on the initial report, it was a scavenger who threw the stone. Police authorities, however, are still conducting follow-up operations as the suspect remains at large.
Wala pang suspect kami na nahuhuli dahil wala pang identity yung suspect dahil di siya nakuha ng CCTV camera.
MRT Director Mike Kapati says they had already asked nearby illegal settlers to vacate their premises but they still keep on coming back.
Actually, alam mo, isa sa mga challenges namin yan. Hopefully, ma-address din ng local yan kasi it's beyond MRT na eh. So, within the area, sinisecure namin. Kaya lang, yun nga, pabalik-balik eh. Paalisin, tapos pabalik.
While the probe continues, the MRT3 management assures commuters of their safety.
We will secure our premises and pag-iisipan namin ano pa mga ibang bagay na pwede namin gawin para ma-prevent mga similar incidents na to. In fact, sa gabi nga, nagpapapatrolya na kami dyan eh.
The Transportation Department earlier said that appropriate legal charges will be filed against the man involved. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
iPhone versus Android. That's an old age debate when buying a new smartphone. So which really is better? The tech editor of Bloomberg gives us the answer in this video.
We're going to try to answer answer the ongoing question of which is better, the iPhone or Android. So to help us answer that is Vlad Savov, our Bloomberg tech editor, aka our gadgets expert, I would say, right?
Yeah, I think that would be fair to say. I'll take that mantle.
I want to ask you about cameras because for me, that's a huge thing. I just want the best cameras, and I feel like I'm really comfortable with the iPhone. But talk to me a little bit about the difference between Android phones and the iPhone.
There isn't that much of a difference in terms of the interface, and a good reason for that is most Android companies just copy the iPhone's interface. Let's be honest and fair about that. But at the same time, there has been a massive change, especially over this past year. So previously you had Google in the lead, Samsung competing, but also kind of oversaturating things. And sometimes Samsung would take the best possible photos, and then sometimes it would take the worst possible photos, so it was less reliable. I think that's one of the things that iPhone users really favor and value, is just the fact that you always know what you're going to get. But the past year what's happened is, because Huawei was stricken by US sanctions, everyone else from among the Chinese manufacturers saw just a giant opportunity. Prior to 2021, I had never recommended a Vivo smartphone. The company has operated for years and years. I've never recommended one. This year, I haven't stopped recommending them. They have special coating on their lenses, and their flagship phones, they introduced two in 2021, have just been amazing. They've been among the best camera smartphones. Xiaomi has done likewise. They've put 100 megapixel sensors in their phones. Then you have Oppo and OnePlus, which are kind of merging into the same company now. And they're also taking a massive step up in cameras. So I would say, if you value cameras, I would lean towards Android now.
Interesting. Okay. So you recently switched over from Android to iPhone, right? I saw you had an iPhone earlier. What are some things that you kind of discovered in switching over?
Yes. Oh gosh, there's quite a few. First of all, I didn't realize how much I missed the flat screen and the square aspect ratio. So everyone on Android loves those curved screen sides, which is really beautiful when you put it up on the shelf and you're trying to sell things, right? But you always register false touches from your palm, whereas you can grip the iPhone much more reliably with the straight sides. And I would say Face ID, its integration among apps, is being perfected. If you're feeling more adventurous, Android can be the way. Again, if you just want a reliably smooth, kind of hassle-free experience, iPhone is the pick.
Okay, so let's take all of what you said. For the camera, you're thinking Android?
Yes.
Okay, and apps and accessories, the iPhone?
Correct. And I would say, all of these investments that the Chinese smartphone makers have made over this past year, I don't expect them to slow down at all. And I think they really solved the camera issue to the point where, yes, I still favor the Google Pixel, but if you get a Vivo, Oppo, or Xiaomi phone, you're going to get an amazing camera no matter what. So what is next for them? It's catching up on all those other refinements, design, user experience, etc., etc. And I have faith and confidence in those guys. I feel like they move faster than anybody else in the business. And we could be having this conversation a year from now, and it could be different.
For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Maricel Halini. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.